Welcome to Channel 5 News. Today we take a look into a horrible fire that cost the lives of 165 people. Hello, my name is Kyle Cunliffe and I'm talking to you today with Channel 5 News. Where I'm standing today may look like a forest sanctuary, which makes it hard to believe that just 35 years ago this was the foundation of the Beverly Hills Supper Club. This spot was popular from everything from weddings to movie stars. The image now provided on your screen shows an image of the club before the fire. As you can tell, it was a large building with much grandeur. One could say this club was like a slice of Las Vegas right here in Kentucky. The reason this club no longer stands is because of the third deadliest nightclub fire in U.S. history. On May 28, 1977, this building was destroyed and many of its inhabitants were killed. That night of May 28th, the Supper Club was staged for the famous John Davidson, who was making a performance. Over 1,300 people were packed into one room awaiting his show. Nearby in another room of the club was a wedding party who complained to the staff that the room was getting incredibly hot and starting to smoke. Within just minutes, flames were bellowing into that room. A busboy ran over to the room that Davidson was supposed to perform and alerted the 1,300 people that they needed to evacuate because there was a fire. Only a few of the people actually evacuated because they thought the busboy was joking. Within just seconds, flames burst into the room and smoke was overpowering. The room had 3 exits, but because of smoke and flames and the exits not being well lit, most people rushed to one single exit. The image now on your screen was taken by an onlooker that night. The violent flames and toxic smoke made fire department access almost impossible. As flames drew closer into the room, most of the crowd were forced towards the northeast exit. Toxic smoke was billowing in and people began to slow down or pass out and even die from smoke inhalation. The exit became packed with dead bodies. Have reports from someone who was there that night. You could hear explosions every 10 minutes. Firefighter Brock, who was there that night, said, "We were pulling bodies out of the back of the showroom, 1 and 2 at a time. You'd go to a wall and lay the bodies. The rest we went to a chapel, a makeshift emergency room. Pretty soon everyone you grabbed a hold of, they were dead." Another firefighter there that night was Bob Schulberg. "On my final trip in, they sounded air horns on the trucks to get out because they felt the roof was coming in. So I opened a door that I thought was an exit, but it was a storage closet. There were quite a pile of bodies in there. So I grabbed people, but then I got lost. Somehow I found an exit. People were pushed or crushed, had broken legs or inhaled toxic smoke and were too weak to walk." All in all, 99 people died at that exit alone. The Southgate Fire Department may have been the first to respond to the incident, but overall it took 522 firefighters to put out the fire and conduct a massive rescue effort. "It was the worst night in my 46 years of public service," said Julian Carroll, who was the governor of Kentucky at the time. So the important question here is, what caused the fire that resulted in 165 deaths that night? Well, the cause of the fire is still unknown, but several factors contributed to the many fatalities. The building did not have an automatic fire alarm, it did not have an automatic sprinkler system, and it did not have well-lit exits. Also, it is suspected that the furnishings, such as the carpet and seat coverings that were used in the building, contributed greatly to the toxic smoke. The building also had aluminum wiring, which contributed to the flames' violentness. This shot is an aerial view taken after the fire. As you can tell, little of the building remained. This image shows the interior of the building. Judging by the destruction, it is easy to see why this building cost so many lives. This devastating photo of dead bodies shows just a fraction of the 165 people killed in that fire. Fortunately, lessons were learned from this tragic fire. Much more care was taken in ensuring that potential hazards in buildings were addressed. Also, many new state laws, which were eventually adopted nationally, were enacted, such as having well-lit exits in all public assembly areas, outline aluminum wiring, and ensuring non-toxic building materials. So let us all remember this tragic fire and try to do our best to make America a safer place. Thank you for watching Channel 5 News.